Hi everyone, Luke here from Weekend Tour Pros, and we're back with another iron review. This time we're reviewing these. It's the Callaway Paradym irons. Let's get down to the fitting bay and give them a little hit, shall we? Okay, so just got down to the fitting bay and I've got the Callaway Paradym iron in my hand for the first time, and I am filming this review immediately after filming a review of the Paradym X, which is the game improvement iron from Callaway in this range. This is the player's distance iron, so if you're looking for that game improvement one, I'll put a link up there below for you, but do keep watching this video because I do show you a comparison between the two as I go as well, so you can get both vibes from this one video. But if you do want that more in-depth review, make sure you click that link. Initial impressions of how it looks though at address, definitely got a little bit less offset, more typical of what you'll see in these players' distance irons. There is still a little bit there, but not a lot. And because of the way the chrome sits actually with the light here, it doesn't look like there's much offset at all. I love the shiny chrome that are on these irons and the way that the grooves are kind of just reflecting the light. They just look fantastic down at address. That sole is a little bit chunky, but nothing compared to what you're used to seeing with a game improvement iron. It's not going to be obviously as sleek as a bladed club, but there is a little bit of help there and it does inspire a little bit of confidence. The top line is a little bit chunkier than maybe my own Titleist T200, but again, I've just got used to sort of seeing slightly chunkier clubs and just getting a lot of confidence from hitting them. What I would say is the loft that this club comes in is 29.5 degrees. Now that is strong compared to the other players' distance irons that it's competing against, so I'll put a few of those lofts up on the screen now, and what you'll see is that typically they're all in that kind of 30 to 32 ballpark. This is just under that at 29.5. So really keen to see if we still get some good heights and some good launches and some good spins out of it. And also really keen to see how it compares to the Paradym X in my hands, because I'm at a handicap of 13.6. According to Callaway, this is targeting like a 4 to 12 handicapper versus the Paradym X that's targeting kind of a 12 upwards. So I'm kind of on that cusp of crossing over between the two. I'm just keen to see if I find this one as easy to hit or more difficult to hit compared to that Paradym X, and particularly compared to my own Titleist T200, which I'm in that kind of category of handicap for as well. So yeah, really keen to see how it performs. Let's hit some shots with it, look at the numbers, and then later on when I get home I'll also be able to compare it to the batch of shots I hit with the Paradym X a short while ago as well, so make sure you stay tuned for that. I must say it does look good at address, like the way the shiny chrome is and the way that the grooves are kind of just glistening in the light. I don't know if it's just the light here in the bay today or if this would be the case in a normal daylight, but it just inspires confidence. It feels that there's a lot of loft on that club and that you're going to be able to hit a good golf shot. Oh, that straight out of the bat is fantastic. Tiny little bit baby cut onto target. Peak height of 62 feet, spinning at 4,200, carrying 142 yards, land angle at 38 degrees. Okay, so initial impressions are that that is going to be very, very comparable to my own Titleist T200, which is what it's kind of competing against, but it felt fantastic and it felt really easy to hit. So a good start. I really like those numbers compared to the X as well. Yeah. That's lovely. That felt even better than the first one. Again, I haven't hit a lot of Callaway clubs, only the the Rogue Max irons that I filmed last year in the Apex DCB. But this forged face, I don't know if it's a new forged face on this version. I didn't read that bit in the blurb, but it feels really fantastic. The way the ball comes off of the club, it just feels beautiful. That one there, 63 feet, spinning at 4,600, carrying 144 and landing at 39.2. So the only thing I'm noticing so far is that descent angle is not as steep as I'm getting with my own Titleist T200, I don't think. I'm definitely getting into the 40s with that. But I am getting some good carry numbers, some good height, some good spins. And yeah, it does feel effortless to hit. So yeah, really impressed with the start so far. For a pull, that's gone really high. I really like that. I really like that feel. Again, the face just feels unbelievable. Because I've pulled it 150 yards, exactly what you'd expect to see, but still at 62 feet of peak height, spins dropped off because of the pull, and the land angles dropped down at 37.2 degrees. And one thing I would say about this so far is what I feel like I'm putting in and what I'm feeling after I've hit the shot, I'm almost able to predict what the numbers are going to do, and that is what's happening. And that's exactly what you want with a golf iron, is to feel in control of it and feel like it's giving you what you're putting in. That's what I'm seeing so far, so that's absolutely fantastic. Right, a few more. Yes. Oh my. 148 yards, peak height of 66, 4.853 on the spin, landing at 40 degrees. Like, oh my. What a goal shot. Oh, I love these. Love, love, love. I hoped this was going to be as good as it just felt. And it is. 153.7 yards, spinning at 4,100, peak height of 69.6 feet, land angle at 40 degrees. Like, these are great. Slight pull. I'm expecting that one to be quite long as well. Spin to be a little bit lower because of the pull, and the height to be a little bit lower. Wow, the height was still good, 71.4 feet, but the carry number 157. The spin did drop 3.835, and that land angle still stayed at 40 despite the fact it was a pull. Like, these are just phenomenal numbers for what I'm putting in. Oh, it's just becoming so easy to hit. That's just so high, so long. Slight pull again. What are you? 157, almost back-to-back shots. 4,175 on the spin. Peak height 67, land angle 39. Like, it's just great numbers. Just great numbers. It's just on repeat. It's going to be the same. It's going to be about 157 again. It's almost 3 identical shots in a row. 156.1, 69.5 peak height, 4.549, landing at 40. We've got over that 40. It's just an absolutely brilliant golf iron. Like, the more I'm hitting it, the first few shots, love the feel. I was just trying to work it out. I've now hit 3 or 4 almost back to back that are just amazing. They're identical. I'm just getting supremely confident with it and feeling like I can just pop it. Albeit I'm hitting a few pulls down the right, but I feel like I can just pop it where I want to. What a golf iron. Come on, let's finish on a good one. 4 in a row. Oh yes, I've hit that one down the middle. That's a beautiful one to finish on. Please give me 156 or 157 again, because it felt that good. Okay, 153, I'll let you off, but the spin jumped up to 4,748. The peak height was 71 feet. The land angles are going up because I'm not pulling it. It's gone up to that 41.3. It's a great iron. It's a great, great iron. I'm going to stop there. I've got one ball left, but I'm going to stop there because it just felt great. Okay, so done hitting shots with the Callaway Paradym iron now, and I think you've seen in that video that my opinion of these clubs has just grown and grown and grown as the video's gone on. I started off hitting them and just trying to work them out and get a feel for them, especially after hitting the Paradym X that was so forgiving and so easy to hit. I just wanted to see how this one performed. And then what happened is I just got a little groove going there towards the end, and you've seen me hit those last 4 or 5 shots that were just absolutely fantastic. I think we're going to see when we get home, and again, this is the feels in the bay, we need to confirm it when we get home. I think we're going to see that it's performed as well in terms of peak heights, in terms of spins, in terms of launch, in terms of land angle as my own 7-iron in my T200, but that it's gone another 10 yards or so, and that's just absolutely fantastic performance. So yeah, really, really impressed with what I've seen from it. Callaway, I think you've done a great job with both of them. I can definitely see the difference with both, and hopefully we'll get home and look at that data side by side between this and the X in a minute. But they're a really good looking golf iron. They feel absolutely amazing off the face, and the one compliment I can give them more than anything is I was hitting shots and I was able to predict and call the numbers before I even saw them. And that is a massive compliment to these irons, because that's how consistent they felt. And I was able to hit 3 shots in a row, I think, where it just went 157, 157, 156. Like, that's absolutely amazing consistency for a handicap golfer. So yeah, overall, great job, Callaway. Really keen to get home now and compare these feels I've had in the bay to the real numbers and see how they perform. Let's get home. Okay, so just got home and had a chance to look at the 2 sets of numbers side by side for the first time. And I'm going to start by showing you a comparison to a batch of shots I hit with my own Titleist T200 shortly before I started filming. And I think it's really good to show you this because the 7-iron Lofts are almost identical with the 2 clubs. Mine's a 30-degree 7-iron, this one's a 29.5-degree 7-iron, so we can just see how the performance differs between those 2 irons. And if we work our way from left to right, what you can see here is the club head speeds were near identical, albeit I got a little bit more out of the Paradym. But the Paradym did give me nearly 2 miles an hour of extra ball speed, so I was getting a little bit more out than I was putting in, and that's why that smash factor is at 1.39 versus 1.37. The carry number with the Paradym was actually 6.1 yards higher, which is really, really impressive. That's almost another half a club at a longer distance, which absolutely blew me away considering how similar those lofts were. Where my Titleist comes into its own is it does have a fraction higher spin, that extra 400 odd revs of spin, but then the Paradym makes up for that, what it loses in spin, with the launch angle and the peak height and the land angles, which you can see all outperform my Titleist T200. So what that says to me is I had really similar control with both of these irons, but in different ways. I was able to use spin as a way of giving me a bit more control with my Titleist T200. I was able to use launch, peak height and land angle with the Paradym to give me that control. And if you were to look at the difference between the carry number and the total number with both of the irons, it's almost identical, which backs up that point. So I was getting really similar control, but an extra half a club of distance with the Paradym and almost at the same loft. So I think the Callaway Paradym iron is a fantastic iron as a comparison to my Titleist T200. I just want to move across and show you the Paradym X as a comparison now. Now what you can see here is exactly what you would expect these two irons to differentiate themselves in. The Paradym X is targeting 12 plus handicappers, and by nature we probably need a bit more help with carry distance, with getting a bit more ball speed out of it, with getting the ball popped in the air and all that forgiveness on those mishits. Whereas the Paradym targeting that 4 to 12 golfer, by the nature of their handicap, they've probably got a little bit more consistency of strike, and what they're looking for is a little bit more feel, a little bit more spin, and therefore a little bit more control. And we can see that in the numbers. The Paradym X, if we look from left to right, outperforms the Paradym on club head speed, ball speed, smash factor, and carry distance. And then it flips over, and the Paradym then outperforms in terms of spin, launch angle, peak heights, land angles. And what that just says to me is you get a little bit more control with the Paradym, and you get a little bit more distance, power, forgiveness with the Paradym X. I'm right in that middle of that crossover, so I can see, depending on the type of golfer you are, you might prefer one versus the other, but there'll certainly be the case if I put these in the hands of an 18 handicapper, I think we see the Paradym X massively show itself to come out as the right club. I think if we put these in an 8 handicapper, we'd see the Paradym would absolutely be the right club. So it just proves that Callaway have got these right where they're saying they are in terms of the handicap range and the benefits that they give. Always like to show you my dispersion just to be transparent with you. I did hit a really good tight batch of shots with the Callaway Paradym, and I think that's backed up with the shots you saw me hit in the bay. You could see I was almost starting to predict the numbers and calling them before I even saw them come up on the TrackMan. Such was the consistency of this iron. I think that's another strength of it, is just how consistent it was. In terms of the fact that I pulled a few of them down the right, I think that's just me and my alignment with the TrackMan on the day versus the actual club itself. And then just to finalise and show you that strike location, you can see that I did hit a slightly more set of middled shots with my own Titleist T200, but there's one shot that's in there that's slightly out of the heel with the Paradym iron, but the rest of them are middled. And again, I think that's just me, and as I was getting used to the club at the beginning, but as soon as I got a feel for it, I just kept finding the middled time and time again. But that does back up the point that I've made just before. The Paradym X, so effortless, so easy to hit. The Paradym itself, you do need to have a slightly higher skill level, but if you've got that skill level, you can get some absolutely fantastic performance and workability out of it. Okay, so we're coming towards the end of the video now, and I think my concluding thoughts are that Callaway have done a great job here with the Paradym irons. You could see that they looked fantastic, they felt fantastic, and that consistency that I was getting towards the end was absolutely mind-blowing. We've also been able to differentiate between the Paradym and the Paradym X, and we can see the two different types of golfer that Callaway are marketing to with these two sets of irons. So overall, great job Callaway, well done. Now, all that remains for me to say is if you like the video, please do consider giving it a thumbs up. I really do appreciate all the thumbs up and comments that I see on the video. And just to let you know, I've got loads more club reviews, ball reviews, training aid reviews, all landing on the channel in the next few weeks. So if you want to be notified of them as they land, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Go on, you know you want to. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. Goodbye.